Welcome to the EG Media Show, where we bring you weekly current events in the world of entertainment. We are the source for you to get your movie scoops, television series, and any other media we can gain insights to bring you. We thank you for taking the time to join us weekly, and we will always make sure to give you nothing but the best in the latest news. And now your host Mike, or as we like to call him, Mr. Review.
What's up, EG Media fans? Thanks again for joining us. Always appreciate you guys listening, coming in weekly to support us and to listen to our show. We're going to, break it down this week, as always. Going to go over some basic entertainment news, follow up on some television follow-up programs, and then we'll close it off. I was looking up some of the sites here, some of these news sites, and I found some pretty interesting news, pretty cool. Blade is officially an MCU Phase 5 movie. It looks like it's coming in hot and heavy now. They announced a lot of the Phase 4, and they're also throwing out some Phase 5. And it looks to me that the actor is going to be Mahershala Ali. I'm going to say it again, so hope I didn't butcher the name. Mahershala Ali. Now, this actor, very interesting. He was in the Luke Cage series on Netflix. I think he's a very good actor. He actually... I think he was the standout of that series. I also liked the actor who played Luke Cage. I thought he was very good. But he was a standout. I think this guy was great. I hope someday they do something for the Luke Cage character as well. But that's on a side note. I like Mike Coulter as Luke Cage. I thought if you were going to pull out Luke Cage out of the comic books, I would think that, that would be Mike Coulter. I mean, he looks just like Luke Cage. But, this guy was a good, he was a good part of that first Luke Cage season. So, that's a good pick. How they're going to fit him in, I'm not sure. Obviously, it's too early to tell. He played Cottonmouth in the first season of the Luke Cage, Luke Cage TV show or Netflix show. But just on a side note, I thought those shows were going in a good direction. It's too bad they couldn't make those, more integrated into the Marvel cinematic universe. Also, just on a side note, Kevin Feige announced, since all these releases of these movies, he's talking about Black Widow, Eternals, Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, and then obviously we talked about the last show. We talked about Thor, Love and Thunder, which again it sounds like a bad TV show. I don't know how that movie's gonna go. Just the title itself just makes me cringe. But yeah, I think if they write a good script, and I think if they make it compelling, I think it's gonna be a good movie. I'd be interested to watch that. I think that'd be one you guys should put on the side and get ready to be excited about. That'd be a good movie to check out. So moving on from the movie Blade, and the release date, I think that is 2021. Moving on from Blade to another Marvel movie that that I think that's time has come is Black Widow. So a lot of people have speculated, Black Widow died in Endgame, and obviously, if you guys have been living in a cave, I don't think that's a spoiler. In Endgame they killed off the character, which I don't know why they did that. They could have figured out some other way to correct matters rather than knocking off some of the key characters that we've grown to love in the sagas. But that's them. I'm just a fan. What do I have to say? But Black Widow is set between Civil War and Infinity War. So like everybody's been saying, it's set before the time she died in the end game. Obviously, Marvel being the way it is, it's going to be very tight-lipped. It's not going to give you much, but it's going to give you a tease. So I'm assuming, and again, this is just kind of an assumption. I'm assuming it's going to obviously give you some flashbacks of her life, how she grew to be who she is, and what made her, the assassin that she is. Kind of what is it that she keeps talking about? There's a lot of red in her ledger. And maybe, hopefully, we'll find out what the heck ever happened in Budapest. We keep, her and Hawkeye make the illusion, it reminds me of what happened in Budapest. It's been an ongoing joke in YouTube videos and all other types of comedy. What happened in Budapest. So, hopefully we'll see, what happened there. Possibly get a appearance of Hawkeye. Maybe not. We don't know. But that's going to be very interesting. I'd like to see that. I like the character of Black Widow. I think that Scarlett Johansson has earned that place in the Marvel universe as far as movie actors go. That she earned her own movie. So I'd like to see that be successful. Good for her on that. So I'd like to touch upon two areas we talked about a couple of weeks ago. I was going to go over some TV news. So two main ones that obviously that started the whole superhero shows, or kind of kick-started it, was obviously Arrow and Flash. This being Arrow's final season, and I'm assuming Flash is probably going to be on its way out in the next couple of years. I don't know. They haven't canceled it yet, but it's probably on its last legs. Before I go into kind of what's going on with those series, I'd like to touch upon what, in my opinion, prompted the stories to go bad. The first 2 or 3 seasons were very good in both shows. Because they were concentrating on the hero and the bad guy. Okay, so just kind of share. I'm going to share this formula for every person that writes these movies and these books and what have you. Let me give you a wacky formula. Concentrate on the hero and the bad guy, and give a good, compelling story around them, rather than bringing in all these other side characters. The whole Arrow family and the Flash family and Team Arrow and Team. It got to a point where I was seeing a bad rerun of the Brady Bunch. Mommy, can I go fight this bad guy? It got to a point where, when, for example, when Arrow, who's supposed to be this bad, vigilante, he's got to go ask permission, from Felicity if he can go out and play. What happened to these characters? They went from being compelling and a deep, rich storyline to, basically grown-up little boys that want to go out and play, and their mommy won't let them go out. This is to me, again, my opinion, what pretty much was the corrosion of these storylines. So, I mean, that being said, they're going to, they're looking at Crisis on Infinite Earths, follow-up. And the actor, LaMonica Garrett, he's going to play the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor, which I think is pretty cool. And if anybody knows the DC or follows the DC universe or comic books in general, these characters are pretty much the opposite of the side of the same coin. They're basically cosmic entities. You would probably compare them to a Galactus in the Marvel universe. You know what I mean? They're just right there with that power level. They can pretty much end, realities if they want. So we're going to come back for a crossover, obviously. So this is what I've noticed. Whenever the shows are dying their ratings, you just do a crossover and just, leech onto the ratings of Arrow and The Flash. So I don't get why they're canceling Arrow, since he's one of the top rated shows of the Arrowverse. He's still rated probably as high as Flash, possibly a little bit lower, but higher than the rest for sure. But they've decided to cancel him. I think they're just making room probably for Batwoman or other TV shows, which I think, Batwoman as a series bombed in the comic books. I don't know why they would make a TV show out of it, And I don't like to get into the politics of it. That just bores me to tears, because it's just politics, obviously. These types of politics are just boring to me. Like, I'm concerned about superhero storylines and good storylines, period. So, it's going to culminate into a battle similar to the, Crisis on Infinite Earths. And, assuming, obviously, from what they're showing, is that Arrow, Oliver Queen, is going to wind up being the sacrificial lamb, and they're going to kill off that character, pretty much, to end the series. And that's going to be about it for it, A little bit of bittersweet, but that's what they've decided to do. Going from Arrow to Flash, Season 6, they decided to bring back Wally West. So Kanan Lonsdale will be making his return. He was, he had been in the Flash as, Wally West, Kid Flash, left to be with Legends of Tomorrow, which to me is probably, I'm not going to get into it too much, but that show is probably the worst written show ever invented by mankind. Just all over the place. Just that show got overrun with politics. It became nothing but politics. The storylines just went as a side note, and just everything was just all about politics. Just throwing this and throwing that, and how about throwing a good storyline once in a while, guys? So, I think him coming back is going to probably add a little bit to the show. How they're going to take the Flash in the next couple of seasons, I'm not sure. The first 3 seasons to me was the best of Flash, and I think Tom Cavanaugh, who plays Reverse Flash, has been, I think, the best part of the show. He's played 2 characters, and he's played amazingly well, So if anybody asks me, do I like Grant Gustaf as, do I like him as the Flash? Yeah, he's good, but to me, he's the show. He's the bread and butter. So hopefully you guys check them out. Enjoy those shows. And we're going on 14 minutes now, so I'm going to cut this short. Love that you guys have tuned in. Appreciate your listening. Once again, if you guys want to support the content, please make your comments, make your likes, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. And the more I hear from you guys, the more I can create content, the more I can give you I'm looking at up to the minute, storylines. I'm trying to give you guys fresh content. So please get interactive. Send me some comments, and invite your friends. Get your friends involved. And once again, always appreciate you listening. So take care, and we'll talk again. Goodbye.